Here's how I used to adjust my calories so that I would never fall off at the weekend and still lose 35 kilo. We're all busy, I get it. I'm not going to sit here and say that we've all got the same 24 hours, because fucking hell. What I am going to say is I completely get the struggle, right? We have shit that we need to take care of to go to the gym. We've got to prepare our meals ahead of time. We've got to do all this shit. And there is a lot to it. I get it. It's hard. Yeah. Did you really think it was going to be easy though? Just because something's difficult doesn't mean it's not worth doing. So of course the biggest thing is knowing what you're doing ahead of time. If I know I've got a social event coming up in like a week or two time, then I know that my nutrition needs to change right now so that I can go and have a few beers or I can go and have a fucking burger. The idea that we leave it till last minute and then get flustered and then we either starve ourselves for the whole week or we just fucking engorge ourselves on the night. The day after we feel like shit and we go, oh God, I wish I'd never done that. Or, God, I feel like shit. I'd better go tell everybody that I feel like shit and that I should have done this. How about before we do that, let's just do it. Let's just do the thing, right? I would look at my calendar. I would say, right, I know I've got this coming up. This is how many calories I'm on at the moment. And yeah, I would be tracking my nutrition. I'd be tracking my calories daily. I did it for 4 years. You can do it for 16 weeks. Sorry, that's just the truth. Wanting to be in a calorie deficit for most of it. What I would do differently now is I would actually eat in a deficit throughout the week, and I would give myself more calories to eat at the weekend, which is exactly what I do with my clients. So a lot of my clients get refeed days where they can eat in a calorie deficit during the week, and then at the weekend they actually eat at calorie maintenance. So let's take myself, for example. I'm currently eating 3,000 calories a day. I know, but I've been doing this for 16 years, all right? I think 3,000 calories is actually pretty okay. To be in a deficit, let's say I'm in a 2,500 calorie per day. So now I'm in a 500 calorie deficit. Throughout the week, I'm going to eat at 2,500 calories. At the weekend, I'm going to revert back to 3,000 calories. With those calories coming from carbs, or in an extreme case, maybe alcohol. Okay, so that 500 calories goes a little bit further. Honestly, it's as simple as that. That's exactly what I do. It doesn't need to be complicated, okay? Deficit, maintenance. And then when we're looking at muscle building phases or gaining phases, we would adjust that so that we're staying as lean as possible and build up as slowly as possible. When it comes to fat loss, I love to attack fat loss now, like it's a fucking war. 16-week blocks at a time. That's what we're doing. We're focused on a single task. Get as lean as possible, maintain as much strength as possible, and then on the other side of that, when we're done with that phase and we go, bloody hell, it's finally over, we can say, do you know what? I look fucking great. I'm breathing really well. You don't realise how much you take for granted breathing until you can't breathe because you're too fat and your chest is sitting on your chest. It's not good. I had this same problem like a few weeks ago. I'm 96 kilo and I was climbing up the stairs and I was like, fuck me, this shouldn't feel this hard. So now I'm losing weight, which is sad. But yeah, I'm doing exactly the same thing, by the way. When we're in that gaining phase, we're gaining as slowly as possible over a really long period of time, maybe 1 to 2 years, but we just stay lean, right? Because we're reverse dieting. And we can introduce those socials back in. We can be a little bit more lenient with the things that we're eating. We can reduce that cardio a little bit because we're in a dedicated gaining phase. Something that I think is actually going to help a little bit is having a dedicated food list, right? So that's something I've introduced to my clients just recently, where I actually get on a call with them or in person. We'll have a talk through what their nutrition looks like right now, where they want it to look, what priorities they've got for themselves, and then we go through a big food list. So we've got like protein, carbs, fats, and veg. And we'll have a list of about 8 to 10 foods per column, and then we build out the meals together so that they know what they're eating, how much of it to eat in terms of their calories and their macros.